In Unit 3, our team explored AI-assisted breast cancer screening, focusing on how responsibility is structured when AI becomes part of radiologists' decision-making. In this reflection, I want to focus less on the final project itself and more on how the process changed my understanding of service design in a high-stakes healthcare environment. At the beginning, I thought the project was mainly about trust in AI, but through the research, I realized that trust was too abstract. What became more important was responsibility in practice. When AI enters the workflow, who decides how uncertainty is handled and who remains accountable? In breast cancer screening, AI can support image reading, annotation, and reporting, but the final decision still sits with the radiologist. For me, this was a key shift in the project. It moved the focus from trust in AI to decision-making under pressure. This also changed how I understand service design. I now see that its value in this context is not in proving whether AI is clinically correct, but in making hidden mechanisms visible, roles, review structures, escalation points, and decision trees. Tools such as system mapping and trust pathway mapping helped us see that the radiologist is not simply using AI, but is positioned inside a wider network of institutional pressure, workflow change, and accountability. At the same time, this project made me more aware of the limits of service design. In a high-stakes medical environment, design cannot promise outcomes it cannot prove. Its role is most to support clear decision conditions than to claim clinical improvement. This connects with one of the strongest lessons I took from this unit. Reflection helps us become clearer not only about the intention of our work, but also about its limitations and the unintended consequences. One important personal reflection was about collaboration. In teamwork, I noticed that I tend to keep a broader systemic view, especially in an unfamiliar and complex field, because I worry that narrowing too early might reduce future possibilities. But some teammates were more concerned that if the project stayed too broad, it would become vague and have no clear intervention point. This tension taught me that framing is not a one-time decision. It is a repeated process of opening and narrowing. For me, collaboration in service design is not about removing disagreement, but about developing a sustainable way to work through different design instincts. Another important learning was about the balance between technical understanding and design focus. Because the project involves AI in healthcare, I often felt that if I did not understand enough of the technology, later design proposals might become superficial. But if I spent too much time on technical detail, the project could drift away from the main design question. This helped me realize that as a designer, I do not need total technical mastery, but I do need enough understanding to know which mechanisms shape responsibility, transparency, and decision behavior. I also became more aware that research methods are shaped by access. In principle, we want to involve radiologists more directly in testing and co-creation, but in practice, the access is difficult in high-pressure healthcare setting. This made me rethink research as a designer. It is not only about choosing the ideal method, but about adapting methods responsibly within real constraints, for example, through scenario-based research or role-play. Supporting literature also shaped my reflection. For example, deep medicine helped me think about one important promise of AI in healthcare, not only greater efficiency, but the possibility of freeing clinicians from repetitive technical tasks so they can focus more on human care. But our project also made me question how that promise works in reality when workflow changes, yet accountability still remains concentrated on one person. This gap between technological promise and service reality became very important in how I framed the project. Moving into Unit 4, I want to continue this project by focusing on one specific decision moment, rather than a broad idea of trust. I'm particularly interested in how service design can make disagreement, escalation, and traceability more visible and usable in AI-assisted decision-making. More broadly, this unit has helped me understand that service design is not only about improving services, but also about understanding what design is appropriate, where it it is limited and how it can act responsibly within complex systems.